To this training workshop series on Eclipse Alert Framework. In video 7, I will teach you how to set up a consumer system and how a provider system and a consumer system interacts with each other. So as we discussed earlier in the previous video for deployment of a provider system, that uh, in case we have three provider systems or single provider system, that doesn't matter, and a consumer system and mandatory core systems, which are service registry, orchestration, and authorization core systems. We need to uh, first uh, assign the authorization rules for the intra-cloud communication between the provider system and the consumer system. So these are the tables inside the database schema for the Arrowhead local cloud instance, where we have authorization intra-cloud and authorization intra-cloud interface connection. These two tables and the systems tables we will discuss, see how they look like. So let's say we have three provider systems as we see earlier, and then we need to register a consumer system. So for a consumer system, we need to register it manually using the Swagger API, which I have shown earlier in the previous videos, how to do that. And then we assign the ID to the consumer, and then we define in the systems table. Here the consumer is the number 10, and then we also assign the authorization rules for the service ID for each and every service we want that consumer system wants to consume, and also with along with the provider and the consumer ID. So again, for deploying your own consumer, first we download the consumer skeleton system from the GitHub repository, and then change the consumer properties and constant, and also the orchestration flags. And then surface request for the to do a surface request, we need to have a service definition, interfaces, and its metadata. And then we can, using those services, we can implement our own consumer logic to use the information given by the services, and uh, um, generate some functionality. So this is how it looks like if we go to the car demo consumer system. Let's say we go here in the examples. So car demo consumer system, this is how does it look like. So inside the Java, so we have the core skeleton where we have consumer application listener. So, and we have just only two files. One is the car consumer constant, which has basically all the constants which are being used for the services, like name of the service, their parameters, and etc. And then the main consumer logic is in the consumer main. We saw that in the provider main, we didn't have much of the code, but in the consumer main, everything, all the logic, all the functionality for the consumer itself. Also, all the services are requested through the orchestration core system in the main file, main consumer file. So it's a long one. So now we will go through that. Here we saw all the source package. Inside that we have the consumer constant and consumer main and the consumer application system. So now if we go to the consumer main, we see that first we need to do the public void create car service orchestration and consumption. So in this function, we define what we want, and what kind of we are requesting the orchestration for a service. Here is the service name, and then all the flags we assign over here. So here is the create car service for that. And then we get the orchestration response, which is printed over here. And in case of error, we see that no orchestration response is received. If that service does not exist, or if a consumer system is not authorized in the authorization table, which has all the rules, then it will show this error. So yeah, just like that over there. So it's a create car service definition, which is from inside the consumer constant. If we go here inside the consumer constants, so we have here create car service definition. That is the create car. So we are requesting for the create car service, and after when we do this request, uh, we also provide the flags for the orchestration, the rules for orchestration for that service. And then communicate here we are doing the communication with the orchestrator itself. And finally, we get when we get the results from the orchestration response, successful orchestration response, we build the logic over here, from the information we get, what to do, what things consumer can or task or functionality it can perform. So here we get the provider response. And these are just some general tips for reading for consumer and deploying a consumer or a provider system is that read carefully the Git documentation before creating your own consumer. Understand what means each flag for the orchestration and decide which are the ones that you need. And if you have any problem with the code, contact the Arrowhead or AITI team via GitHub or the Slack groups. Thank you very much.